What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Hasbro Power Rangers Lightning Collection, Fighting Spirits Green Ranger, and Mighty Morphin Putty. And so here we have the Fighting Spirits Green Ranger and the Putty posing out of the packaging. Before we have a look at the figures, let's actually take a look at what they come with. We'll start with Green Ranger here. Green Ranger does come with the most accessories out of the two. He does, of course, come with an unhelmeted head, which does look pretty decent. It's not the best we've ever seen. He also, of course, does come with his helmeted head. We also do get 4 different hands for the Green Ranger. We do have a grip hand for his right hand. We also do get a dragon flute playing hand for his right hand. We get a fist for his left hand. And then we get a style pose for his left hand. He, of course, also does come with the Sword of Darkness, which looks really good. I am glad they included it, which it also does come with its own green lightning effect, so that's pretty cool. His final accessory is, of course, the Dragon Dagger, which does fit in either his flute playing hand or his grip hand, and of course does holster right on his right side. So overall, really good accessories for the Green Ranger. Moving him off to the side so we can have a look at the Putty. The Putty does come with two sets of hands. We do have a grip hand for his right hand. We do have an open palm for his left hand. We also do get a mace hand for the right side of his body, and then we also do get a blade for the left arm. We of course also do get a little sparking effect, so that's pretty cool. But other than that, they really don't come with anything else. Don't know what more you would want to include with the Putty, so what we're going to do now is actually take a closer look at their details. We'll start by having a look at the Putty, and I have to say Hasbro's done a really good job with the face sculpt of the Putty. If I have one little issue, it's just that I don't recall the face being the same color as the cowl. I seem to remember his face being just a shade darker than the rest of his body. There's a lot of detail on the face of the Putty, but unfortunately, because it's all molded in one color without any wash, unfortunately you do lose that detail, and they did a really good job painting the sculpting the cowl on him. That does look nice, and you can see it does go all the way to the back. We do have some wrinkles there, so that looks good. As far as the body on the Putty goes, it's kind of plain, but that's pretty much how the Putty was. It is pretty much the exact same body that we've seen with all the other Power Ranger figures. The only difference is the paint apps are a little bit different, and he's cast in all gray. We do get some striping on his upper torso. Other than that, no other paint on his body other than his hands, which he does have these really nice rocky hands, and they do look really big and massive. They do have a nice wash just to bring out some of that detail. Detail I wish they did in his face. And both hands do have that nice detail. This is, of course, a clenching hand, which does look good when posing him around. Now on mine, you can see the left arm is a little bit loose. It doesn't want to stay on that peg all perfectly, but once you put it on, it's no big deal. Really do like the belt on the Putty. You can see the little star with the little circle in the middle. But like I said, there's really not much to say about the Putty's costume. It is the exact same mold of all the Power Rangers, all the way down to the boots, which are a darker shade of gray. And like I said, it's the exact same mold that we've seen with all the other Power Rangers, so there's really not much to say about it. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually move on to Green Ranger. And so here we have a look at the Fighting Spirits Green Ranger. And the reason I say the Fighting Spirits Green Ranger is because this isn't technically the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger. This is the Fighting Spirits version of Green Ranger. The original Green Ranger helmet did not have the silver paint going on the helmet, so that is very different from the actual Mighty Morphin Green Ranger, and that's just one little difference from Mighty Morphin and the Fighting Spirits. I know a lot of people are upset that he has a silver paint. That's accurate to the Fighting Spirits Green Ranger, so there's not really much to be upset about because he's not Mighty Morphin, he's Fighting Spirit. The helmet is done really nicely. There is some silver along with the white, so that's one little detail I am glad they included. That silver does reflect the light perfectly, and it actually does blend in with the white. So when you catch it with the right light, it looks so much nicer. His head, unfortunately, does sit a little bit too low on the peg. As you can see, with the armor, it doesn't look like he has much of a neck. So that's one issue I do have with the Green Ranger in particular. But the Dragon Shield is done really well. I do like it. It's a softer plastic and it's a free-floating piece, so it's not going to hinder articulation too much. He, of course, does have the Green Ranger bicep, which has the gold going around it. So there is that. I do like that. And, of course, he does have the standard Power Ranger diamond pattern on the back and front of his chest, so that looks good. Another difference from the Fighting Spirits to the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger is the side of the holster that the Dragon Dagger is on. The Fighting Spirits Green Ranger did have a white holster on the right-hand side. Mighty Morphin Green Ranger has a black holster on the left-hand side. So again, this is accurate to the Fighting Spirit Green Ranger and not the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger. Another key difference in the two is the morpher. Mighty Morphin Green Ranger had a gold morpher where the Fighting Spirits has a more traditional silver morpher. So for all the people saying this is an inaccurate body, they're wrong. It's accurate to the Fighting Spirit Green Ranger. As far as the rest of his costume goes, we do have some gold motif on his gloves, which do look good. They're not too sloppy, but they're not 100% either. But the green is painted really cleanly. On his boots, you can see the gold is better painted than it is on the gloves, and I do like that. Again, the green is painted really cleanly. There's a shade difference between the paint and the actual plastic, but that's to be expected. They can't match it all unless they paint the figure all green. Boots, of course, do look nice. Same boots we've gone with all the other Power Rangers. So overall, really loving the way this Green Ranger came out. So what we're going to do now is get the Green Ranger and Putty compared to other figures you may have in your collection. So here we have the Green Ranger and the Putty posed next to a Marvel Legends, Cyclops, and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Green Ranger and the Putty posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have the Green Ranger and the Putty posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And finally, here we have the Green Ranger and the Putty posed next to the Legacy Collection Green Ranger and White Ranger. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually move on to their articulation. Now, we're only going to take a look at one of their articulation because it is the same, minus the hinges on the wrist for the Putty. So we'll take a look at the Green Ranger. Both of them do sport the same ball joint in the head. They both have a really nice ball joint. It does tilt up and down. We do get some really slight head pivots, so that is good. Head turns left and right, no problem. Does have a hinge on the neck, which does look back and up. Well, back and forth. Now, unfortunately, the helmet does butt up against the neck and the dragon armor, so do be aware of that. We do have a butterfly joint, which does go back and forward really nicely, and the armor does get out of the way, so you don't have to worry about that. Arms do a full 360, and the armor is soft enough that it's not going to hinder articulation. It does go out to the side pretty good. Does have a bicep swivel, works fine. Double bend in the elbow works pretty good, although we do see the armor butting up against itself. Swivel and hinge on the wrist for Green Ranger. Putty is, of course, missing that hinge. We do have a mid-torso joint, which does go back and forward, side to side, as well as rotate, so that's really nice. We have a reverse ab crunch, which does go back about that far. Goes forward that far. No waist swivel, because that is done all up here in the chest. Legs do kick forward to about there. Kick back. Go out to the side. Have a thigh swivel. Double bend in the knee, although it is a little bit stiff on Green Ranger. He does have double bend in the knee. Again, it's just kind of stiff. We do have boot swivel, hinge in the ankle, which does go back and forward. And then, of course, forward-facing pin for rocker ankle. So overall, really do like the articulation on Green Ranger and the Putty. So what we're going to do now is get them posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the Fighting Spirits Green Ranger and the Putty posed for my final thoughts. And overall, I really do like the way this set came out. Now, it is a little bit unfortunate that we got the Fighting Spirits Green Ranger before we got the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger. So I know down the road Hasbro is going to give us a true to form Mighty Morphin Green Ranger. But in the meantime, the Fighting Spirits one is going to do its job in my display. The Putty is actually a really good choice for this set. Now, unfortunately, If you get one putty, you want to have a putty patrol. And unfortunately, if you want to get multiple putties, you either have to get all the putties loose or you have to buy multiple of this set. This set is running $50 at most retail, even at GameStop. So chances are $50 for army building putties just isn't something most people would want to do. Now, if you can find a putty loose, I have seen them go for about $30 each, which that's still kind of steep for an army builder. Hopefully Hasbro does give us a true to form Mighty Morphin Green Ranger and more variations on the putties, because a single carded putty would be awesome for army building. Now, if you are looking for this set, it is starting to be available at GameStop, your local FYEs, or of course your local comic book store. I, of course, did pick up mine from my local comic book store, so a huge shout out to the good folks of Black Sheep Comics for getting this out to me so I could review it for you guys. Like I said, if you're a fan of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, this is the only chance we have for Green Ranger at the moment, so you do have to kind of purchase this for the Green Ranger. But that's not a bad thing, because the Green Ranger is a really nice figure and the putty is just even nicer. With that being said, guys, I'm King of Dragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other Mighty Morphin Power Ranger videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it fits in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. While you're at it, don't forget to check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos. And as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.